Hey everyone! Dating. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Kiersten. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for my future videos. I post every Tuesday and Friday. It's a new routine. I'm getting into it. I'm seeing if it works for me. I go to American University and next semester I have Tuesdays and Fridays off, so I thought it would make my posting schedule a little bit easier. But anyways, today I'm doing another big sister talk video. If you don't know what that is, check out the other videos on my channel. But basically it's a new kind of advice series I'm starting on my channel where I take the role as big sister and talk about different topics each week that I think are important, things that need to be discussed, and kind of just things about everyday life, college life. So today's video is a little impromptu. It was something that was on my mind, something I felt compelled to talk about, so I grabbed my notebook and I'm just gonna sit and talk about this. So basically I want to discuss dating, how to change your mindset around dating, and how to really figure out what you want. Grab a drink, get a blanket, get comfortable, and let's start this conversation. So I'm 18, and to be honest, I think a lot of 18-year-olds don't really know what they want. I mean, nor should you have to, but I consider myself a little unusual. I've spent a lot of time alone this past year, really just reflecting on myself, on what I want, my goals, my dreams, and I've really kind of made promises to myself that I'm going to put 100% into my goals and just like keep that promise to myself. So a huge thing for that is relationships. Obviously, you know, dating is a big part of your life, especially in college. Dating culture in college is, you know, super significant, and I think there's a lot to it. But I think the issue is, you know, we go around dating people, getting into relationships, whatever, but we're getting into relationships with people who don't know what they want, or we ourselves don't know what we want, and so we're getting into relationships and problems happen because you both don't know what you want. That's why I think it's super important to take a little bit of time and really think about what you want. There's a process on how to do this, and that's what I want to talk about today. Alright, so a little backstory. I was in a relationship for like 3 years, and things ended like last August, so right before college, and obviously that's significant of a relationship at such a young age has a really great impact on who I am as a person and kind of how I view relationships. I took a lot of knowledge from that past relationship, figuring out what I do and don't want in the future when I have other relationships, and it honestly really took me a long time to kind of really think about that and heal from that experience. I think there's a lot of value in literally just sitting with yourself and asking yourself what's important to you, what are values that you need in a partner. I think it's so easy to settle in a relationship saying, well, I don't want to be alone. This guy, girl, whatever is giving me attention and it feels really nice, so I'm just gonna get in a relationship with them, and kind of ignoring major red flags that might be involved in the relationship. But I think what's super important to remember is the person that you desire and the person that fits you perfectly is out there. I promise you. You have to believe that, and as long as you do and don't settle into a relationship that's gonna make you unhappy, you 100% will meet that person. I truly, truly believe that. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go grab a piece of paper, and I want you to sit down and list at least 5 to 10 qualities that is a non-negotiable for you in a person. So I actually did this. I've done it like a few different times as I feel like my mindset changes, and I have like a whole list in my notebook. This is like my go-to notebook. It's almost full, which is kind of crazy. It's never happened to me before, but I have a whole list of qualities in a person that like I want. I literally wrote down my ideal boyfriend, and I said this is the qualities I'm looking for, and I made a promise to myself that if a person doesn't have my non-negotiables, I am not going to get in a relationship with them. Like point blank, I promised myself that I'm not going to. I know for many people this might be, you know, Kiersten, you're being too hard, like love comes in all different, you know, forms, whatever. But I disagree. I mean, absolutely, you don't necessarily need to have a definition of who you're looking for, like, oh, he must be this height, look exactly like this, whatever. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if something's extremely important for you in a relationship and you're considering getting in a relationship with someone who doesn't do that for you, that absolutely makes no sense, and all it's gonna do is waste both of your time. So for example, the number one thing on my list is honesty. I really need someone who's honest and willing to communicate about their feelings, someone that is not going to lie to me. That's huge for me. I don't want to be with someone who's gonna lie. So if I meet someone and a few dates in or something, I find out they were lying about something important, that's it for me. Like, I'm out. And that's a boundary that I've set for myself because I've determined, Kiersten, you're a valuable person. You deserve a valuable relationship with someone who's gonna love you. And if they don't do these things for you and they don't show that they love you, then they're not the right person for you and it's time to move on. This is definitely a mentality that's come with time. It's something I've developed, but I think it's something super important that I think every person should have. Even in college, even when you're young, you know, everyone just says, just date, find out what you want, whatever. And I mean, if that makes you happy, then sure. But for me, I don't really find value in that because I know I'll never be happy in a relationship with someone who isn't providing me with what I need. And I'm not saying don't go on dates with people who you think could be a good match. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if someone crosses a boundary for you or doesn't fill a non-negotiable, then they are not the person for you. It's as simple as that. And I know it's hard to hear because maybe you're watching this and you're in a situationship, been there, or you're in love with your best friend, also been there, you want your ex back, whatever it may be. But if you really sit down and make this list and you ask yourself, is this person that I want, this person I'm with, the person I was with, do they fit these for me? Are they the person for me? Another thing I've learned with time is that sometimes love just isn't enough. I know this is kind of a hard thing to hear, but you know, for me in my last relationship, I absolutely 100% loved the person I was with. You know, I would have done anything for that person, and I think at the time that person would have done the same for me. But I think at the end of the day, you have to realize, at least in that time in your life, you both could not provide each other with what you need in a relationship. No matter how much you love another person, if they are not gonna provide what you need to be happy in a relationship, they unfortunately are not the person for you. And trust me, this one hurt. It really hurt me to hear because when I was going through it, it was the last thing I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear, you know what? If you love a person enough, they'll come back in your life, everything will work out, all that matters is you continue to love them. But no, unfortunately, that's just not how relationships work. And instead, you have to take that love that you felt for someone else and pour it all into you. All right, so now that you've written a list about, you know, what you want in a partner, you have started the first step of manifesting that person into your life. So congratulations, give yourself a pat on the back. I believe strongly in manifestation. It's something that I started about a year ago, and it's something that I truly believe has transformed my entire life, and I will probably be making a video on it in the future. But you know, just to kind of give a brief overlook on it, manifestation is asking the universe, God, whatever you may believe in, a higher power, for something specific, and then working on raising your vibrations and becoming the best person that you can be and putting yourself in the most positive. Well, my brother got home, so I had to move outside, but anyways, what I was saying. So basically with manifestation, you put something out into the universe, you ask for it specifically, and then you just focus all on self-love, things that are gonna make you feel amazing. The whole mentality is that if you don't love yourself, you are not ready to enter a relationship with someone else because you have to fill that love with yourself. Someone else can't fill that for you, and you're constantly gonna be looking to fill that void. So all your other future relationships are most likely not gonna be successful until you learn to focus that love on yourself first, and then want to share that love with someone else. This is something that I've been working a lot on this past year. I've been doing a lot of activities to just focus on self-love and bringing that into my life and kind of focus on filling myself up first. And you know, I've gotten to the point where it's not that I feel like I need someone in my life. That's not really what I'm looking for. I just want someone to share these incredible experiences I've been having with. So, you know, for example, the other week I was at this beautiful beach watching the sunset, and it was incredible. And I was like, you know, I really wish I could share this experience with someone who I love and someone who loves me, and you know, just sharing this moment with that person. And that's the kind of part I miss about a relationship. So my mindset on the whole thing has really changed. If you asked me a year ago, I would have said like I needed, you know, my boyfriend in my life, and I needed to have that companionship. And I'm at the point now where I'm very comfortable with myself that I don't necessarily need that. And that's come with a lot of self-growth. It's come with a lot of journaling. It's come with a lot of self-reflection. I think self-reflection is a really underrated thing. I think just taking the time to hang out with yourself and be alone and focus on what makes you happy and brings you joy can overall improve your life so incredibly. So now that you've made this list, I want you to just put it in a drawer somewhere and try to forget about it. I know it's hard to really say that. I mean, I still look at mine, whatever. But the whole point is, instead of, you know, dwelling on that person, constantly needing that person, you fill that time with things that bring you joy. So for me, a huge thing this year obviously has been fitness. I've gotten super into fitness. It's really transformed my life. Other things I've been doing is dancing, creating this channel. This is a huge creative outlet for me. It's something that brings me a lot of joy. It's why I do it. I've done a lot with photography. I've done a lot, you know, with friends, with family. Any way I can be creative, get outside, exploring new areas, traveling, things like that. Things that, you know, really bring you joy, I think is what you need to focus on. The second kind of concept to manifestation is that when you bring yourself to a higher vibration by doing things that, you know, bring you joy, make you happy, you become a magnet to all things good, and you become a magnet to the things that belong to you. So when I'm in this high vibration, I'm attracting people that are the same way, and I'm attracting people that, you know, could potentially be the person I'm looking for in my life. When you're surrounding yourself with people that, you know, are meant to be in your life, people that are positive, it's just gonna positively influence your life. So you have to constantly just think in that mentality, that positive mindset. And it's obviously a process. It's something I've worked this entire year on, and it's kind of crazy to think back, but I look at how much my life has changed, and it's kind of wild how significant my life has changed based off of my goals, my dreams, and things I put out into the universe, things that are super important to me that I have then received. Like I said, I can make a whole nother video about manifestation. It's kind of its own like thing. It's something I'm still learning and developing, but it's something that has completely transformed my life. The law of attraction, check out the book The Secret. It's all, you know, a whole another thing. But yeah, I really just wanted to talk about relationships and kind of changing your mindset on them. I just think it's super important to kind of figure out what you want before you get into a relationship with someone else, and it's important to work on yourself before you get into that relationship, because all you're gonna do is bring those old wounds and the old trauma, the old things that you need to really deal with and emotions you need to develop and go through. It's just gonna bring that into the other relationship, and honestly, you don't want to do that to someone you care about. It's really not worth it, and I think it's super important to take the time and do some self-reflection. A big thing that I do for that is just journaling. Anytime I feel like I'm going through an emotion or whatever, I'll just journal about how I'm feeling. I've really, you know, had a lot of like self-discovery, so to speak, in that way, where I've, you know, kind of put pieces together about my life, where I'll connect my relationship with one person into experience I had with another. Sometimes things that went wrong, I can pinpoint, okay, well, it was because of this behavior, and that behavior is a result from this action that happened to me when I was a kid, or whatever it may be. And then being aware, and then when the same patterns show up, developing things to kind of combat that behavior so you don't get into the same patterns as before. It's also okay to be single for a while. I know it's super uncomfortable. Obviously, since I was in a long relationship, it was really strange for me for a long time to not be in a relationship with a person, to not have that person in my life to kind of talk things through with and all that. But I think it's super important to deal with the uncomfortable emotions. You never grow in a comfortable spot. You grow being uncomfortable, you grow, you know, experiencing new things, facing your fears in a way. So if you're uncomfortable being alone, that means you don't have enough really self-love in who you are. You need to take the time to grow, and you need to take the time to develop the things that make you feel really good. So when you go in a relationship, it doesn't feel like the end of the world if something goes wrong, because you have yourself to fall back on, and you have a strong foundation of who you are as a person already. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. It's something I feel strongly about. It's something I think a lot of people need to hear before getting into a relationship. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for my next video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.